A very logical day to all of you. Hello, everyone. Here we are with the first editorial of the Indian Express of 7th June. Let's see what we have in store for us today. That is get back on track. And now, understanding this track would stand for the railways, and you can understand now that this would be referring to the recent mishap. You can say getting back on track can also be used as a phrase anywhere where you are deviated from the इस रास्ते पे चले गए ठीक है तो you need to get here and in your preparations you are working towards it and by chance you are deviated a little, you're demotivated a little, but then now is the time where you need to go back on the track. So here it will be like here. डिवेट हो गए फिर वापस से अपने रास्ते पे आ जाओ तो ये रहा एनएलयू आपके लिए ठीक है इसको भी हम ऐसे यूज कर सकते हैं गेटिंग बैक ऑन द ट्रैक so track stands for the path right so no deviation and that is why we all are working here no for what are we doing all this so that you come up fully prepared facing the CLAT and reaching there to your targeted university. So let's see what we have today. Details of the devastating train accident in Balasore in Odisha are still emerging, and there is distance yet to cover to arrive at full clarity. If you remember, the 2 days back we did this article, and we said that the government needs to have clarity in the matter. So the report so far suggests that interlocking, a safety mechanism that ensures that trains move seamlessly and prevents accidents, was manually overridden. While the complete picture will emerge only after the Commissioner of Railway Safety submits the report, this horrific accident, which led to 275 dead and hundreds injured, should be the trigger for a wider institutional introspection and reckoning. Right. So this complete picture we'll get a little later after the reports are submitted. But at least one thing comes out from all this incident that we need to introspect. और V का मतलब हो गया institution, मतलब railways. Introspection and reckoning. Reckoning would mean like calculating so, right? Measuring what is happening and how and why. तो थोड़ा एक जैसे एम्पेरिकल या साइंटिफिक डेटा बेस जिसको कहते हैं ना वो रीजनिंग होनी चाहिए तो उसको रेकनिंग कहते हैं इसका एक्चुअली मीनिंग हो जाता है कंप्यूटिंग एंड कैलकुलेटिंग Why I'm mentioning it here only because then you'll understand कि introspection करके हमें बस आइडियलिस्टिक चीजें नहीं समझनी है हमें इंट्रोस्पेक्शन भी करना है कैलकुलेट भी करना है कि क्या सही था क्या गलत था और क्या हो सकता था So there can be no debate about the need for a massive infrastructure upgrade of the Indian Railways, encompassing trains, tracks, and stations. And it is also true that the task of modernization is not a zero-sum game. And yet, this is a moment to ask questions. Right? It's a moment to ask questions would mean here. Over the years, the Indian Railways has seen a dramatic increase in its capital outlays. As a consequence, unlike in the past, funding is now much less of a constraint. Much less of a constraint. तो फंडिंग मतलब कोई रुकावट नहीं है फंडिंग हो जाती है तो फिर क्या प्रॉब्लम है In this changed environment, it is not the financial but the capacity and human resource constraints that policymakers need to be mindful of in the attempt to reconfigure the organizational priorities. Reconfigure the organizational priorities means the priorities as the organizations keep उसको अगर हमें reconfigure करना है फिर से figure करना है उसे so you need to be very cautious about it you need to be mindful means attentive to it right now a broader more encompassing perspective is warranted right a broader perspective is warranted means more encompassing. Broader में हम include हो जाता है. More encompassing, that means it is including all the things together. तो perspective यानी हमारे समझने का, सोचने का, देखने का नजरिया, और फिर इसे हमें करना है, which will be including everything, right? Now, the newly launched Vande Bharat trains constitute a significant upgrade since energizing signals down the line. It constitutes a significant upgrade. Upgrade मतलब अभी हमने पढ़ा था that our railways would need a proper upgradation, right? The trains and the tracks and the stations, all of these. So energizing signals down the line, but the cold fact is that they account for only a sliver at the top. Now, see, if you read this sentence again, it says that these trains constitute a significant upgrade. तो चीज important तो है, ट्रेन्स को अपग्रेड भी किया है, लेकिन ये जरा सी चीज है. जैसे लिवर का मतलब कैसे होता है, एक एक पूरा पोटैटो है, पर पोटैटो का एक अगर चिप्स बना लिया, तो दैट बिकम्स अ वेरी थिन लेयर ऑफ दैट, नॉट लेयर, अ थिन स्लाइस यू कैन से ऑफ द पोटैटो. so स्लाइस से हम स्लीवर पे वी कैन relate it. So it is such a big thing that you need to do, and what you consider is a significant upgrade, but still it is only one fifth or one tenth of it, and so you need to do more. One fifth भी नहीं आएगा, 1% समझो आप. तो sliver कहेंगे at the top of the total trains running in a system that runs more than 13,000 passenger trains. Thus, the vast majority of the 25 million passengers who use the railways to commute daily, who cram overcrowded general coaches, where infrastructure seems to be frozen in time, are yet to be significantly touched by the modernization efforts. Now, see how the author is pointing this out. He's saying much has been done, fine. The incident is pointing towards what needs to be done. That is also the author's point. Then he comes up with mentioning it as an example that we launched the Vande Bharat trains. Good, very good. Upgradation, very significant. But it is only a slight over the huge thing that we still need to do. Then he says this vast majority of 25 million passengers, they cram. अब उसने धीरे धीरे करके problems identify कर रहे हैं. They cram the overcrowded general coaches. देखो दो चीजें हो गई इसमें, एक word cram हो गया, overcrowded हो गया, और general coaches है, मतलब वहां पे लोग ऐसे का ऐसे ही इतने भीड़ में चले जाते हैं. Infrastructure seems to be frozen. तो to be frozen in time का मतलब होता है जैसे पहले थी वैसे ही रहना. फ्रोजन का फ्रीज हो जाती हैं चीजें, जैसी थी वैसी रहती हैं. सो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वैसे ही था, मतलब कोई डिफरेंस आया नहीं है, ना उसका अपग्रेडेशन हुआ है, ना कुछ चेंजेस हुए. सो दिस इज वन पार्ट वेयर द गवर्नमेंट हैज नॉट डन एनीथिंग वर्थवाइल येट. इट इज सेइंग अपग्रेडेशन नहीं हुआ है, तो दे आर टू बी सिग्निफिकेंटली टच्ड. The government must have done something, but it is not bringing a lot of change. So it has done only a sliver. हम उसके लिए भी हम स्लीवर यूज कर सकते हैं कि जो कुछ भी गवर्नमेंट ने किया है वो सिर्फ जरा सी बात है, लेकिन ह्यूज मैसिव वर्क जो है वो अभी तक करना बाकी है. सो सिग्निफिकेंटली टच्ड बाय द मॉडर्नाइजेशन एफर्ट्स. दिस हॉरिफिक एक्सीडेंट should serve as a wake up call and a reminder to the system of those parts that are left out of the revamp and upgrade. The need for constant vigil on safety structures and processes that affect everyone. So these parts need to be focused on. These parts have been left out in the upgradation work or the attempts that were going on. Work, you can say, not the attempts. So revamp and upgrade. Railways ka revamp and upgrade wala jo kaam chal raha tha. In that, a few things have been left or very slight changes or upgradation has been done. So this incident, this accident points out to those weak areas where the government needs to work full-fledged now, right? So the main point, if we can understand, is that a broader, more encompassing perspective is required. You need to broaden your perspective and understand that this horrific accident is pointing out to something which is lacking in the upgradation work, and that is what the government needs to work on. On various metrics, the performance of railways, including its record on safety, has seen an improvement. For instance, the number of consequential train accidents has declined from so much to so much. On another criteria, however, there is scope for improvement. As per a CAG report, between 1890 and 1920, the funds allocated for track renewal works were not fully utilized. So, funds were not utilized. The accidents, train accidents declined, and there is scope for improvement. Funds allocated for track renewal works were not fully utilized. Out of 1127 derailments during 1721, 17 to 21, 289 were linked to track renewal. That means the major cause is coming up now gradually. It is the track. Old infrastructure needs to be upgraded and maintenance works needs to be urgently carried out. The Railway Board has also recommended a CBI probe into the Balasore accident. This parallel investigation suggests the suspicion of criminal behavior or intention on the part of individuals. Right? So there's another thing that is going on. उसे parallel कहते हैं. If you can understand this parallel, it can come as a parallel reasoning also. ठीक है, कई बार क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग में क्वेश्चंस आते हैं पैरेलल रीजनिंग के, मतलब जो लॉजिक यहाँ पर दिया है वही लॉजिक यहाँ पर भी होना चाहिए. ठीक है, so what they are coming up with is the investigation. If one is already going on, the second is also been given. So CBI probe भी है और रेलवेज का तो चल ही रहा है. This parallel investigation suggests the suspicion of criminal behavior and intention on the part of the individuals. Accountability needs to be fixed, heads need to roll, but the CBI approach should not become a pretext for the establishment to shy away from conducting a wider institutional review of the path to modernize Indian railways. Now, let us understand this last part of the last paragraph. Here it says that the Railway Board has recommended. ठीक है, उसे सिर्फ रिकमेंड किया है, अभी आ नहीं रही है. अब सोचो इस रिकमेंडेशन के पीछे कि भाई सीबीआई प्रोब भी होना चाहिए, साइमल्टेनियस दो पैरेलल इन्वेस्टिगेशंस चलनी चाहिए. If this is the point of view of the Railway Board when it has recommended a CBI probe, the question on critical reasoning can be that what was assumed by this railway boards. So when it suggested that the CBI probe should go on, तो उसके assumption में क्या था? ये कि हो सकता है कोई क्रिमिनल बिहेवियर हो या हो सकता है कि ये इंटेंशनल हो सकता है ये किसी पर्टिकुलर इंडिविजुअल्स ने किए हो काम. तो हो सकता है, हो सकता है, हो सकता है मतलब assumption, राइट? तो assumption था दिमाग में, तभी रेलवे बोर्ड ने कहा कि देखो सीबीआई प्रोब भी ले लेते. So it is one good example of assumption which gave rise to the statement that I'll recommend a CBI probe. So those who have been just doing the critical reasoning, maybe you have started, maybe you find a little problem. So understand that assumption will be before the action or the statement. So when it recommended a CBI probe means it had in its mind that possibly somebody would be working with a criminal mind. ठीक है, मतलब किसी ने जान करके किया होगा. That is it. Second, accountability needs to be fixed and heads need to roll. That means there should be people who are actually coming up with that और वर्किंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन. रियलिटी में होना चाहिए, सिर्फ हिपोक्रेसी में नहीं है, सिर्फ सुपरफिशियली नहीं, उसको इन डेप्थ इन्वेस्टिगेशन होना चाहिए. दैट इज हेड्स नीड टू रोल नाउ. They need to do something, but the CBI probe should not become a pretext. Another point of your questioning, understand it. CBI probe should not become a pretext for the establishment to shy away. To shy away का मतलब किसी बात से मतलब दूर हो जाना. So shy away means that person is finding out ways and means or excuses rather of not going for the institutional review. कि सीबीआई प्रोब तो चल रहा है, सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है, तो फिर मैं इंस्टीट्यूशन का रिव्यू नहीं करूंगा, अभी नहीं करूंगा, सीबीआई का काम हो जाए फिर करूंगा. अगर ऐसा है तो फिर ये नहीं होना चाहिए. तो लेट द सीबीआई प्रोब गो साइमल्टेनियसली. right? And the railways has to do that institutional review of the part to modernize the Indian railways. ये तो काम उसे करना ही है, इस काम से बचना नहीं है, तो shy away हो जाएगा बचना, to escape. And this is what the railways should not do. Clear this much? So we have 2-3 points here. Let us see the main idea. Balasore accident frames a railways challenge. Frames मतलब वो पूरा outline कर देती है. Frame कैसा होता है? ऐसा. ठीक है, लिमिट हो जाना या आउटलाइन कर देना कि यहाँ पे ओके फाइन दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू डू. तो उसकी या उसे बता देते हैं कि दिस इज द रेलवेज चैलेंज. नाउ व्हाट इज द रेलवेज चैलेंज? द मेनी ऑन बोर्ड ट्रेन्स, दैट मीन्स ट्रेन्स दैट आर रनिंग, who are left untouched by ongoing upgrade. So the point here is that upgrade work is going on fine. ये चल रहा है, right? But significantly, it is still or yet to be done in a comprehensive manner. Comprehensive manner. ये करना ही है, and this is what the passage pointed to. Right? Upgradation is started. Significant upgradation अभी नहीं, कहीं कहीं पर कुछ कुछ हुआ है, but then there are many things, many places where all this upgradation has been still not even started, or there are many sectors where it is still untouched. Not sectors in that manner, but still various things. कहीं पे ट्रैक्स हैं, कहीं पे उसने ट्रेन्स बोली थी, तो ये सारे जो उसके एलिमेंट्स हैं they are just started upgrading, yet a lot is to be done. Ongoing upgrade वाली untouched. vocabulary देख लेते हैं हम. Vigil is to be like keeping an eye on. तो ध्यान रखना कि इसमें एक विजिलेंट ऑफिसर्स होते हैं ना, जो पूरा सुपरवाइज करते हैं, देखते हैं, ध्यान रखते हैं. डिवास्टेटिंग इज टोटल डिस्ट्रक्शन. Seamlessly, seam means borders, so seamlessly means it is very smooth, you can seamlessly transit from one place to the other, तो वो कहते हैं without any hindrance, without any obstruction, without any hindrance. So the transition was smooth, that is seamless. Horrific, you can understand this word horror. ठीक है, तो हॉर को अगर हम करते हैं तो हॉरर मूवीज आ जाती है, horrendous आ जाता है. ठीक है, फिर हॉरिफिक वर्ड आ गया हमारे पास. हॉरिफिक इज लाइक क्रिएटिंग सम टेरर सॉर्ट ऑफ. हॉरर को टेरर से रिलेट कर दो तो तुम्हें एटलीस्ट मीनिंग समझ में आ जाएगा कि हॉरिफिक क्या होता है. वो टेरर मतलब डरा देने वाला बिल्कुल जो क्राइम होता है, और दिस वाज एन इंसिडेंट, तो हॉरिफिक इज लाइक टेरिबल, तो टेरर से टेरिबल भी समझ में आ जाएगा, राइट? देन वी हैव द वर्ड इंट्रोस्पेक्शन. सो यू ब्रेक दिस वर्ड, इंट्रो एंड स्पेक्ट दो हो गए, और अगर हमने सफिक्सेस की भी बात भी करी तो TION हो गया. Yesterday I had given you this TION is a process, noun हो जाएगा. ठीक है, और intro as a prefix means inwards. ठीक है, और spect एक और रूट वर्ड, spect means to see. तो इंट्रोस्पेक्शन का मतलब होता है अपने ही काम पे देखना कि व्हाट यू आर डूइंग एंड हाउ यू आर डूइंग. ठीक है, तो इंट्रोस्पेक्शन TION हो गया. स्पेक्ट इज टू सी. स्पेक्ट के साथ आप बहुत सारे और वर्ड्स लिख सकते हो. अगेन एज आई सेड यस्टरडे कि अगर आपने एक रूट वर्ड किया है तो कम अप विद द वेरियस वर्ड्स. सो यू हैव इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, यू हैव स्पेक्टेटर, यू हैव स्पेक्टिकल. स्पेक्टिकल यानी व्यू होता है, नजारा, और स्पेक्टिकल्स यानी व्हाट आई एम वेयरिंग, चश्मा. ठीक है, फिर इंट्रोस्पेक्शन होता है, रेट्रोस्पेक्शन होता है. ठीक है. We have one word you can see here, perspective. So perspective also you can write here. Why? Because we already have the word spect. Spect is to see. And per means a single person. आप ये सोचो. ठीक है. तो perspective यानी हमारे हिसाब से एक person के हिसाब से क्या देखना है, क्या नजरिया है. तो that is your perspective. So you would have a different perspective. I have mine. So per or spect को you can relate it together. You'll be able to understand the meaning of the word perspective. Prospective ये भी हो जाता है prospect, prospective. Right. Pro means future. In that way it is used. Zero sum game मतलब जितना प्लस एक के लिए होगा दूसरा माइनस होगा. तो what is plus for A is minus for B. Right. Now you can understand it easily. Zero हो गया, एक ने खोया दूसरे ने पाया, खत्म कहानी, कुछ भी नहीं बचा. So that is a zero sum game. Heads need to roll. That means people should be taking steps. People should take action या steps. कुछ भी लिख लो कि अब काम करने हैं. पर्सपेक्टिव का मीनिंग आ गया समझ में आपको. स्लीवर मैंने कहा था स्लाइट. क्रैम many people together. Of course cramming हो जाता है. There were more than 10 people crammed in the lift. So in that way, like giving no elbow room to any other person. To shy away is to escape. And a wake up call means एक रिमाइंडर नहीं होता है, वो वेक अप कॉल मतलब आंखें खोल देने वाली बात होती है. ठीक है. यू स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग नाउ दैट सी वी नीड टू realize that we need to act in a certain direction. ये एहसास हो जाता है. So it was a wake up call for me. एहसास दिला दिया. I realized that this is what I need to do now. So that incident was a wake up call to me. Right? So now see, you have quite many phrases here. तीन आपके चार आ गए आपके पास. Zero sum game, heads need to roll, to shy away, and a wake up call. So you have four. The rest are words that we discussed, and what we gave today was two root words, that was whore and spect. तो दो वर्ड्स हैं तुम्हारे पास, अपने नोट्स पे लिख लेना. And I hope when I mention here like destruction, so you have one more word, that is struct. तो struct का मतलब होता है structure, formation. Construct, destruct, destruction, destroy. So you can come up with a small 2 3 words also. If you get, you can write. Right. So I hope you are collecting this and you are going according to um, your breaking down the words and understanding them. So that is all for today. So thank you, class, and see you tomorrow.